an enemy out there whose job it is to try and throw you off kilter, make you think you're not as blessed as you are. But you are blessed. You are blessed. You are blessed. And so sometimes in the worship, we do have to fight for what we want. David wrote in Psalms 11, the second to last Psalm, Psalm 149, that it's with our praise and with our worship that we lift up a sword and we fight things in the heavens. We fight off things that have been sitting on us. We fight back things that have been coming at us. We push back on the enemy through praise and through our worship. And so I praise God that we lingered long enough to get there. But look at somebody and say, don't let nobody mess with you. Come on, say that. Don't let nobody mess with you. You're a child of God. There's a great and awesome God fighting on your behalf, waiting to do great exploits in and through you and I. Amen? So we've been working through this idea of love. And we've been going after this thing with a few concepts and context because it's so important that we understand the love of God. In fact, I will go so far as to say it's one of the most important things that we can get to a level of understanding, and that allows us to move closer and closer and have greater understanding and more awesome and growing faithfulness and glory in the things of God because of this thing called love. And Jesus played it out very simply. He says, love God with all your mind, with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your strength. And love others as yourself. And it really is that simple. He summarized all of the Old Testament with just that statement. And then in John 10, he says, oh, by the way, I came that you might live. And that you might have life and have that more abundantly. So the real simplicity of the gospel is in this whole idea of love, live, and serve. And then we go on here and we start looking at Ephesians chapter 3. And in Ephesians chapter 3, it talks about becoming rooted and grounded in love. And rooted simply means I know that I can get the nourishment I need from God through this love connection that I have with God. And if I suck it up and grow up, when storms of life come, I'm grounded enough not to be blown over. The root system in a tree does two things. It grounds it, it feeds it, and it stabilizes it. And such is the same when we find how to love and get in this love relationship with God. And then we talked about, hey, we don't want to do this for nothing. The Bible tells us very clearly that we do this thing with love, and it makes a difference. If we do it without love, it means nothing. And the sad part is that the enemy can continue to trick us into believing that we're doing something, we should be focused on this or focused on that, and then we get closer and closer to the end of this life and we look back and realize it meant nothing. And we start to realize that I wish I had spent more time with. And then you start putting in the blank. I wish I spent more time with my wife and taking it easy and enjoying vacation. I wish I spent more time with my children. I wish I spent more time with my mom and my dad. I wish I spent more time with my sister, because we come to a conclusion that's accurate, usually a little too late, that love is what matters. Amen. And love is what makes this life worth living. And this love connection with God and this love connection that we express to others with the help of God is ultimately the objective. And we got to understand that when we don't understand love, we don't understand God. When we don't understand love, we cannot understand God. And if we don't understand God, then we're open to be fooled, tricked, and misled in all sorts of ways, just like Eve was in the garden, because the serpent showed up and convinced her that somehow God was jealous of her and didn't want her to be like him. I mean, as silly as that sounds, Nicole, God was jealous of Eve and didn't want her to become like God. But the serpent was slick and he convinced her, you'll be a better God than that guy. Who's been convinced of that? I'm better off running this thing than he is. In my short 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, somehow I have gained more knowledge than he who was here from the beginning, Alpha, and who will be here at the end, Omega, who sits outside of time, who created everything that is. Yet somehow I'm better at this than he is. Don't be deceived.